Hey guys, all right, now I'm getting ready to start on the big heavy wall piece of tubing here to make that last piece for the shaft. And I think I got it ready to go now. I've been playing with the lathe a little bit more and everything's ready to go. I was gonna show you real quick. I got my splash guard mounted on the back of the taper attachment. It's got two studs that screw in here on both sides. One was missing, one was broke off and was stuck inside there, and I had to get that one out, and it was broke off inside there, so I had to get the stud out, and luckily it wasn't real tight, so I just used an ease out, got that out. But I got it mounted, and then I see one other problem though. I'm a little bit too close to my wall here, so I'm gonna have to kick this lathe out just a few more inches from this wall because I need a little bit more clearance down there. But about ready to go. I'm gonna start getting this piece set up and indicated, and figure out what I want to do first. Gotta get the chuck set. One other thing I need to do while I'm thinking about it, my chuck wrench is pretty wore out here. I need to weld this up and recut the square so it fits the chuck better. Whenever I'm setting up, getting the jaw set to chuck something up, I use the reference lines on the chuck, and I normally just use the edge of this bevel either on either side of the jaw. I'll get all four set to that line, and then I'll measure it. I'm about 4 5/8 right there. I need to go about another inch, and usually what I do is I crank the chuck handle an even amount all the way around. I'll just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'll measure it. It's got me really close, so I'm gonna do the other two. And then once you get all four of them real close, you can do quarter turns. And that's got me right about where I need to go. These two here just a little bit close. And that's going to be pretty close. And once you get all four of them right where you want them, bring it back up, bring one jaw up top. And I usually open it up, these two, about another half a turn or so. That way it gives you a little clearance to get it in there. You're not fighting it, having to open your jaw back up. I got to come out just a little bit. Alright, that's going to put me, it'll give me about 1/8 of an inch before I get to the jaw to get the smallest parts of this piece turned down. What I want to do is turn down the smaller sections all the way to where that flange is going to be that's on the other side. And I believe this will give me enough to where I can get all this turned, and then I can turn it around and chuck it on this end and finish that end. Hey look, they put our name on there. Some of y'all seem to like watching me indicate. And it looks pretty even. So I'll start on the chuck end. Get your highs tight first. It's getting close. That's about 5 thousandths or so off. A piece like this, you got to have it good and tight. I'm going to do some heavy cutting down here. I need to go find me a little cheater pipe to help tighten this up, and I'll be right back. Alright, found me a piece of pipe. Just want to make sure that they're all good and tight. I'm not over tightening it with that, I'm just making sure that I'm getting a good pull on it. A little bit more than what I can do by hand. Alright, that's pretty close. Do this one a little more. Pretty close there, so move it down and bump this in. Dang, I figured it'd be worse than that. It's not bad. Alright, that's within about 3 or 4 thousandths. Plenty close enough. This is a hot roll finish, so it's not round. Alright, we're about the same here. I mean, it's moving around a little bit, but it's centered. I'm going to say 3 or 4 thousandths. See what it looks like running. Pretty good. I get that hole pretty true in the center. Alright, got that side indicated. I'm going to start getting all my tools ready and get ready to start doing some cutting. Alright, that's the first cut. What I'm going to do is I got it faced off. This is a lot of stick out, but this is a good heavy duty chuck and it's always worked well. And what I'm going to do is just go ahead and I was thinking I might just give me a couple spots here in case when I do all the heavy board and it throws it out, I can re-indicate it. but I may just go ahead and take a little light cut all the way across it. That just gives me a true OD to work off of when I'm doing the board. Alright, got the OD turned, that looks good. I'm going to go ahead and start working on the bore, and once I get the bore done, then if I need to, I can go ahead and use one of my bell centers to stick in there and hold it while I do my turning. I'm going to try starting off with my Allure boring bar with the chip breaker tool. See how that does first, and see if I get a good cut out of that. I just measured the first shoulder, not the first, but the shoulder depth that I need to go to, and it's 4 1/4. I'm going to set my tool depth, grab it with the hook scale. Just at the line. That'll give me a few thousandths to a little face cut when I'm done there. Alright, 0. Double check it. Tool looks good. I got a couple passes made down through the bore. Everything seems to be doing real good for me. So I'm going to call it a night. It's about 9 o'clock and I have to get up early and go to work. So I'll be back out here tomorrow afternoon and see if I can't get some more of this cut. Alright, hey guys, it's the next day. Working on the piece of tubing again. And I came in, I actually had to charge my camera. I forgot to turn it off, so it died. So I had to put it on the charger, but I've already done some cutting on this. And I figured out that I was having a little bit of clearance issue on my tool. I had to take this out and grind me just a little bit more relief on that tool because it was rubbing in there. But I ground a little more relief. And I've already made several passes. You can see it's doing a good job. Just using a chip breaker. It's a piece of cobalt there. I'm running I'm running 121 RPMs, running a 10,000 feed rate, and just clipping along nice and easy. Some people might ask me how come I'm not going to use an insert bar, and there's nothing wrong with an insert bar, and I've got plenty that I can use, but this is quite a bit of stick out. There's a lot of tool pressure on this, and sometimes I just like doing it the old school way. I use a tool bit. I can get a good uniform chip, little curlicues, and I'm not necessarily in no hurry. I'm just sitting back watching her cut, but I don't have to go real far in there. I believe it's 4 1/4 inches to that depth, and I'll show you what I'm doing here. Here's the piece. I went ahead and bead blast the inside, but these first 2 steps that you see there, that's what I'm working on right now. And right now I'm going to be boring it to this size right here in the middle. That's going to be 2 7/8, and I haven't even measured this one yet to see what it is. So that's what I'm working on. I'll get these bores done, and then I'll work on the outside. And when we get all that done, then I'll flip it around and I'll actually bore it for the shaft size on the other end. So another thing I was going to point out, I'm using my my granddad's mic. He's got his initials on there. That's a mic that we use all the time. So I'm going to go ahead and get another cut. I've got about 175 thousandths to come out of this, or to get it to that first bore size. You see that tool doing a good job. Alright, this is the final pass of that inner bore. Trying to finish it at 2 inch 880. Sped it up to about 200 RPM and kicked it down to a 5,000 speed rate. Honed my tool bit. Using some cutting oil. It's making a nice smooth finish in there. Alright, there's a shot of the finished bore size for that inner bore. I finished it at 2 inches 879, and it's got a nice finish in there. Probably hit it with a little emery just to clean it up. And getting ready to go in here and do my next bore. Alright, I got it roughed out. Getting ready to measure it and see where I'm at. And this bore here, I want to finish it at 3.5 inches. And it's not critical on the size either. I mean, I'm going to hit my target, but if it's off a few thousandths either way, it's not really going to matter. About 467. All right. 15 thousandths pass, and then check it, take a final cut. Alright, 490. We'll get about 10 thousandths. $4.90. Three-inch 501 is what I wanted. Alright, that first shoulder up in there is actually cut on an angle. That's what I'm getting ready to do now. And it's cut about on a 30-degree angle. Nothing critical, it's just how the piece is made. I'm about to reach in there and start cutting that. I'm going to use the compound, it's already set on 30 degrees. I did take my tool bit out and touched it up because my cutting edge had broken down some. So I got it touched up, should cut pretty good. And we're ready to go. Just gonna make a few passes along here and kind of tie the two corners in together. Chips out of the way, I can't see it. Pretty good. A little better shot there. Gonna do a little polishing. Alright, I got the first end of the bores done. I've got it set up with a bell center now. Getting ready to start on the OD. First thing I'm going to do is go ahead and set me a stop point with my indicator. I'm going to have it stopped at 8 7/8. I'm just going to scale this off using my hook scale. Alright, that's about right there. Cut me a reference line to look at. Let's try this about a 15,000 speed rate. Start off with a 1/8 cut and just see how it does, and I'll adjust it from there. And I'm going to try some flood coolant this time. See how it does. Try 200 this time. It's nice having that flood coolant on there. Chip band's working. Alright, right now I'm at 5 inches, and my larger diameter on this side is actually going to finish at 4 1/4. And I'm happy with the 200 thousandths cut. It's coming off quick because I'm feeding it fast. I'm just going to keep it at that and bring it on down. Flood coolant's working good. I'm getting down pretty close to this diameter down here on the end I need to get at, which would be a 4 1/4. I'm at 4 inches, 402. I think what I'll do, I'll take a 100 thousandths cut, and then I'll mic it. I'll make a 1 or 2 finishing passes across there. And everything's working good, just like it always has. But I will show you one problem that I found is my coolant pump's leaking now. And that's probably just from age and from sitting for a while, but I noticed it started dripping the other day, and it's getting a little bit worse. So it's definitely something that I got to work on here pretty soon if I want to keep using it. But I got that pig mat down there to soak up that coolant. So take another cut. I'm getting real close to that center. I'm gonna have just enough room to get in there and finish it. Pretty nice. I'm only getting about 1,000 taper. Alright. Speed her up a notch. We're at 38. Again, this diameter is not critical either. There's nothing that fits on that. We're just hitting the target size of 4 1/4. Picked it up to 319 RPM and dropped the feed rate down to 5 thousandths. Leaving a nice finish on there. Another cool thing I like about that coolant is that the part still gets hot even though that's pouring on there. When you stop your cut and you're ready to mic it, you can just run that flood coolant all over it for a couple minutes and it'll cool it down real fast. Which is what I did before I started making my final cuts here. Alright, just finished my final pass for this end. Let's see where I finished at. Four inches 250 and 5/10. So I'm right there where I want. It's just barely warm. So that's good. This end's finished. Now what I got to do is I got to come down here 2 7/8, and I'm going to have to take my parting tool and plunge in and get me an undercut started here, because this area right in here is cut down smaller than that. So I'll take me a tool, scale it off, and plunge it in about down to the depth that I need to be. I'll probably put me a different tool in here. I've got a D&MG insert that'll give me more clearance on this edge that I'll be able to feed in on that undercut and get this cut down to size here. So I'm gonna find my tools, get everything set up. I'm gonna get the machine cleaned off a little bit, reset, and be back on it in a few minutes. All right, I got my parting tool set up in the tool post here. I'll show you real quick which one I'm using. It's one of those is-cars with the insert. About to see how it works. Make sure I'm on center. Actually, a little low here. Pretty good. I'm going to scale it off 3 inches from the edge here. I said 2 7/8 earlier, but I want it 3 inches. I've said before, I like using hook scales, things like this. You see me scaling the tools off from the edges, and it makes it just real quick and easy. Again, nothing real critical. I'm just hitting target sizes. Got it lined up right on that edge there. I'll go ahead and set me a 0 behind me here, so when I move it, I can come back. All right, what I got to do, this area is 4 1/4. From where I undercut back to here, that's going to be 3 1/2. So I've got to plunge in 3/4 of an inch. I'll plunge in real close to that, and then what I'll do, I've got this D&MG insert tool. I'll use that to do my turning, and once I get it down to where I want, I'll go ahead and kind of step it back and use this angle of the tool bit to cut an angle right here. Clean it up, and then I'll make my finished pass across there. I'm gonna go ahead and try some flood coolant. I usually use cutting oil, but I'm gonna try the coolant, see if it helps. Just feeding in by hand. Seems to be doing good. About 400 deep. $600. 700. All right, 740. I'm gonna leave about 10 thousandths just to clean it up there. I'm gonna go ahead and step it over and cut it again just to give me plenty of room to work with there with my tool bit. 740. Should about match the other side. And 0. Alright, I think that undercut will work. That should give me enough room to get the damn thing positioned here. Let's see. I'm gonna have to come back here and cut a little bevel just to get down there to size, but that's what I was gonna do anyway, so I think we're good there. Alright, got it ready to go. I done got my 0 point set for this shoulder. Gonna get my feed rate set. I'm gonna run about a 15. Try another 200, see how it does. This is a different nose radius than the tool I had earlier, so it might work a little different as far as the chip goes. A little bit bigger chip than the other one. I'm going to go ahead and start cutting some of this angle right here on this edge and get it down real close to that finished size to give me some relief in there. See where I'm at on size. .637. So I got about 137 to go. I think I'll take 100 and then I'll leave the rest for my final pass. 100 there. 100. I'm getting ready to make some final cuts here. Alright, that finished about 2 over, 3.5. And I'll get some of my emery cloth and I'll polish all this up right here. I took my emery paper and just kind of blended those tool marks that were right in here and just gave it a nice little polish. And everything's finished on this end now. I am going to try to cut a bevel on this end. I haven't done that yet, but I'm pretty much done with this end here. All I've got left to do is to finish this end and finish that bore on that side, and the lathe work will be done. I'm calling it a night for now.